can't tell y'all. You tuning into the best morning show on the globe. It's Brad and Emery in the morning, y'all. LeBron or Jordan, either one when I'm performing. Crossover, buzzer beater and I'm scoring. Bradham and Emery in the morning. Every play they on it. Every day I'm balling. Who's the coach? Who's the GOAT? Like Brady and Belichick, best show on the globe. And they embellish it. Y'all pin Ziffy, I'm Ken Griffey, or maybe Mahomes. I stay in the zone, whether man to man or play in the zone. They can't stop me. Mayweather boxing, Curry with the shot, man. We just the best to be. Can we have our SP, please? This was meant to be. Every morning with Bradham and Emery.
Yes, sir. Do we know the vibes? What are the vibes?
I have no idea what the vibes are.
What are the vibes today? I mean, usually we know the vibes, but I don't know the vibes. I don't know what they are. I'm Brad in the morning, Marques and Justin Emery.
Yo.
It went down.
It went down
while I was on vacation.
And we would have been on air.
We would have been on air. Yep.
Sound like you had a good weekend.
Yeah, my voice is shot. Yeah, it was a lot happening this weekend. A lot taking place. But we got more important things to talk about than my vacation.
Yeah, well, first off, February 22nd today.
Yes.
Happy Monday, everybody. Not the worst day of the week.
Not the worst day of the week. That's right.
National Margarita Day.
So I've heard.
Yeah.
So I've heard. So Jimmy Buffett's super excited about today.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. 1980, Miracle on Ice.
Do you believe in miracles? Al Michaels with the call. USA hockey team. Wow. Today. How about that?
2014, El Chapo's captured.
Really? That happened today? Wow. This is a big day in history.
What did he say? I'll pay $100 million to anybody that can get me into America. I believe that's what he said.
Yeah.
There was a solid afternoon where I was like, how would you pull something like this off?
Yeah, how did we make this happen? How did we figure this man out? Wow, El Chapo. Well, we need to talk about El Wenzo now because Thursday morning.
We're having a serious conversation right now.
Yeah.
We need a serious snack.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Okay.
I do better when I'm hungry. When I eat. No, we got the beef jerky taking place from Beef Jerky Outlet. What are we trying today?
We are trying the venison jerky original Smoky Mountain beef jerky.
Some deer jerky.
Yes, made in the foothills of the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee.
I like it.
Okay, let's get this bag open.
Get that bag open and pass it around while we talk about Carson Wentz because around roughly 11:50 a.m. Thursday morning, Carson Wentz was traded.
Ooh, you're gonna like to smell this.
Your prediction. I have to give you props because we got here in a way. This is not exactly the way.
It was much different than the way that I thought.
The way it was going to happen, but
I have the
we
clip.
got there.
Should I?
Yeah, we got to play it.
Okay, so this is from, remember, our inaugural episode at ESPN 920.
Correct.
October 10th.
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
The first time we're going to hear Justin Emery make people upset is this first topic. Justin has an interesting theory about the Eagles and their future and what the Eagles should do to ensure their future possible. Floor is yours, buddy.
All right.
Make everyone upset.
I have to preface this by saying that I think that Carson Wentz, when healthy, can be a top 5 quarterback.
Still stand by that.
No lies detected.
However, if I'm the Eagles, I'm trading him. I'm trading Carson Wentz this offseason, going all in on Jalen Hurts as my quarterback, and taking the king's ransom that I will get from Wentz and rebuilding this old depleted roster.
Okay, now that everyone's fallen out of their bed or spilled their morning cup of joe or cereal or whatever you got, please explain in detail why and how does this look?
All right, well, the one I'm trading it to, the team, is the Indianapolis Colts.
Boom. I mean, boom.
There it is. And where is he now?
So everybody, there's this guy on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what his name is, and it doesn't matter what it is anyway. He's one of those guys who just tweets out every possible scenario while talking about a topic.
Yeah.
And when he eventually hits one, he freaks out. People. So he was talking about how he was freaking out about it. You know, I called it.
Right.
And I sent him a message. I was like, "Yo, I called this back in October with a link to the show."
Yeah, receipts all.
Never heard back from him again.
Of course not. Of course not.
So, now just like I said last week, I admit that I was wrong about Lamar. Now, I might be a little bit right because I said he would do absolutely nothing. I mean, winning an MVP award is more than proving me wrong. But
Yes.
he's not achieving the level that a lot of people think that he will, and I don't think he's going to get there either. I just have to reset that bar of what it is.
Right.
But on the other side, I'm going to sit here and take my W's.
Oh, yeah, you got it.
I'm taking my
I
W's.
mean, this was, no one could have saw this coming, that he would end up here.
Now, like you said, we came about it in a roundabout way.
Because later on, we talked about this again, like a couple weeks after that. And I had said to you, I'm like, listen, going back to what you said before, I've gotten here, but not from the premise we had before. Because, like you said, when healthy, yeah, I do agree. When healthy, Carson can be a top 5 quarterback. I believe that he can when everything is right. But however, things went off the rails here, and that's kind of where I want to go with this right now off the bat. Is I just want to make a statement about all of this. Is that, listen, we can do the blame game of who the overall personal blame for this is. We can say the Eagles organization didn't handle this the right way, and all those things may be true. But here's the number one thing that's true about this trade and why this is happening. It is directly because of Carson Wentz. There's no more person you can blame more for this happening than Carson Wentz. He is directly, and it's weird because every time I go on Twitter and see people talking about this, they're pointing fingers at everybody else, but I don't see really any being pointed at 11. Like, you are here directly because of your actions. Like, if you had gone into this season and you had balled out all season and you had played up to your capabilities, we're not having this conversation right now. We don't get to Jalen Hurts replacing you. We don't get to all the controversies that happen after that. And listen, whoever want to say is responsible for the leaks, okay? Whoever want to say is responsible for those leaks, that doesn't mean they're not true. It doesn't mean you weren't a jerk behind the scenes. It doesn't mean you weren't hard to deal with. Just because things are being leaked, which listen, I don't necessarily agree with the way they did that, and that's one of the ways they didn't handle this the right way. But it doesn't mean that stuff wasn't true. It was coming from somewhere. There were actual player sources saying this stuff. This wasn't coming from just administration. It was coming from players themselves. So, at the end of the day, and look, you look at like the suitors for him. Like, there are probably 9 to 10 teams, I would say they could use a quarterback. Only one of them wanted you.
Yeah.
One of those teams was the only team that said, we want Carson Wentz. And they still were playing games with you, not want to give what you want. The Eagles, this is not the deal the Eagles wanted. This isn't a favorable deal. You have ate more money than anyone in the history of eating money. And this is the haul you get back. You get conditions on your haul. You don't get guarantees, you get conditions. That's not what they wanted.
So I came with lots of notes today.
I like it.
Lots of notes. Because this is going to take the majority of the first hour, let's be honest.
It's a lot to talk about.
Okay. So where do you want to start this at? Do you want to start this from a money standpoint or a production standpoint?
Let's go production first because it's more along the lines of what I opened with. So
okay.
let's start strictly because to me that's the overall problem here of why you got to blame Carson for this.
So we'll do production.
Okay.
We're going to start a little thing that we're going to do. We're not going to do it all the time.
Okay.
But we're going to break out a new segment called This or That.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to give you the parameters.
All right.
Of each of what it is, and then I'm going to give you players' stats. You're going to rank that upon just strictly stats, who you would want. Then I will unveil who those players are.
Okay.
Okay? Now, for this one, it is the last 5 years of quarterback play.
Okay.
So it's since Carson has come
Into
the league.
Okay.
So it's a 5-year span.
Mm-hmm.
In that 5-year span, you have the possibility of 80 games. 16 times 5 is 80. So you have 80 games to base this off of. Okay?
Okay.
Yards, passing yards. 21,176. Touchdown interception ratio 143 to 54. Record 40, 37, and 2 in 79 games. 79 out of 80.
Okay.
Okay. Quarterback 2. 19,639 yards. Touchdown interception ratio 117 to 46. Record 37 and 41, 78 games.
Okay.
Quarterback 3. 16,811. Touchdown interception ratio 113 to 50. Record 35, 33, and 1. 69 games.
What was the record again?
35, 33, and 1.
Okay.
So which quarterback out of that bunch would you rather have?
Well, based on the numbers, 1.
Okay. Want to know who that quarterback is?
I do.
Kirk Cousins. Okay.
I don't want to play anymore.
Okay.
I'm out.
You want to know who quarterback 2 is?
Who?
Derek Carr.
Okay. Oh God! Please tell who's quarterback 3.
11.
So you're telling me?
Yes.
You're telling me that over the past 5 years, Kirk Cousins and Derek Carr have better overall numbers and winning percentage than Carson Wentz.
Well, not win. So Carr doesn't have a better winning percentage than Wentz, but he has better statistics.
Better statistics.
Okay. Now,
Well, that's not where I saw this going, but okay.
Now I'm going to give you
that's not good.
Okay, so we're just talking strictly numbers. Okay, this is just the numbers game. Okay, so these are 3 quarterback seasons, or 3. Here's 3 quarterbacks within the last decade of their quarterback 1. 19,737 yards. Touchdown to interception ratio 121 to 88. Record 28 and 42. 70 games. 5-year span.
Okay.
Okay? You want to know who that is? Jameis Winston with the Buccaneers.
Okay.
Okay? Here's another one for you. 18,147 yards, 98 touchdowns to 74 interceptions, 38 and 36 in 74 games.
Who's that?
Joe Flacco, 13 to 17.
Okay.
17,140 yards, 111 to 62 touchdowns to interceptions, 35, 37 and 0 in 72 games. Ryan Tannehill with the Dolphins. So, I know I threw a lot of numbers at you there. So I ranked them all from 1 to 6 for you.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of yardage, Wentz is 6th, last. In terms of touchdowns, he's 4th. Now, in terms of
real quick, let me stop you real quick. The thing that's most alarming about what you're doing right now is that these aren't even elite quarterbacks.
I know.
These aren't quarterbacks that I would never even want on my roster.
We'll get to that. Hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
So, interception. This is based upon least, okay?
Mm-hmm.
He's number 2. He's through, in that span of that 5-year vacuum, he's thrown the second least behind only Derek Carr, who's only thrown 4 less than him. So that's a plus for him.
Yeah.
That's a plus. However, in games played, he's dead last.
Yeah, and that's why I was waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Now, here's what based upon what you just said, these are not the number 2 overall pick guys outside of Jameis Winston.
Right.
These are not guys who you sit there and think are all world beaters at quarterback.
Right.
These are guys who year after year come up on the trade block.
Yeah, these are like your 10 to 16 range, and that like these we're not even comparing him to the top 5, 6, 7 in the league. Like these are like the middle of the row guys.
So, based upon strictly the numbers here, this is a plus turnout on Howie. If we're looking at strictly the numbers here, to get a third and a conditional second, maybe a first, think about this. Imagine that trade going for Derek Carr. Absolutely not. You would assume he's going to get you at least a first-round pick.
Right.
Look at Kirk. I mean, granted, Kirk Cousins was a free agent, but if you were to teams would trade.
He was one of the first guaranteed contracts.
The first.
Yeah, guaranteed. Yeah,
$84 million guarantee. After sitting on 2 years of the franchise tag.
Right.
Do you consider Joe Flacco? I mean, postseason Joe's a different guy.
Right.
But we're talking regular season.
I don't. I don't consider him at all.
I
don't consider any of these guys.
I know you're not a fantasy football guy, but Joe Flacco is undraftable in fantasy football.
I would imagine so.
And you're looking at the numbers. Wentz, yardage, like I said, yardage in games, Flacco has him beat. Wentz has a better touchdown interception ratio because he's a little bit safer with the ball.
Yeah.
But,
and he's
based
only
off the numbers
and
right
now.
Now.
Another thing you got to take into consideration with Carson Wentz is, and that's why this clause is in here if he plays 75% of the snaps, because he's only finished 2 seasons in the NFL.
Yeah.
2. I don't count the season to finish. You didn't finish the season. You were there. You were available. But you weren't good enough. He's only finished 2 seasons in the NFL. Well, no, you know what? Just kidding. He's only finished 1 season in the NFL. If you really want to be technical about it, he didn't finish that playoff game.
Well, it's strictly the regular season. So
okay.
He did.
Okay. Well,
under the parameters of this.
Under the regular season, he finished 2 seasons. Yes. But if you want to be on the technical terms, I say no. I say 1 season you finished.
Now, we're obviously, you can't do anything about the head hit.
Right.
You can't do anything about it. But
I agree.
Just because you can't do anything about it does not make it not true, not prevalent, not relevant.
Right. Like all of this stuff. This is the thing that frustrates me with reading. I was reading everything, all the takes that people are giving posts, and it's just shame on Eagles and shame on Howie and
no.
Shame on. But all of that stuff. Yeah, they didn't handle this the right way. But at the end of the day, I look at this situation that this is, to me, a Carson Wentz issue, and he really left them. He left them no choice. He left them no choice. Listen, my head will spin with all of the jargon we've heard this offseason about, did Doug want Carson? Did Doug want Jalen? Did Howie want Carson? Did Howie want Jalen? Did Jeff want Howie? Jeff want Carson. All of this stuff, who knows? I can't make sense of all that stuff. What I can make sense is you demanded a trade. You didn't want to be here anymore. You didn't want to fight for your job. You didn't want to fight for your reputation. You wanted to go elsewhere. And another thing we could talk about with him is I feel like ultimately Carson Wentz was not tough enough to play in this city. I think we cannot not say that. He was not tough enough to be here. And this is a guy from a small town with 3 people. Yeah, we said that before. He's just not – this was just too much for him. The idea that we care – because listen, when he goes to Indianapolis, here's what's going to happen. Whether he plays great or whether he plays not so great, they are a town that they love sports, they love the Colts. The media's not going to get them like that.
We will go through Indianapolis.
Yeah.
On our trip to Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, they like the Colts. They get behind the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
they get behind the Pacers. I
Right.
mean, like they don't it's not like one of the other cities.
Right.
But
They're more of a basketball place than a football place.
But what it is when you only have those cities that have one or two teams, it's not as rapid. When you have the big media markets, that's what puts the player under the microscope.
Right.
In these Midwest towns, yeah, like they enjoy their sports, but it's not the same.
Right.
It's much different being the quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts and being the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Much different things. There's a much difference between being the quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts, being the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Right.
Two completely different worlds.
Right.
And Peyton Manning was, the Colts have a nice history of good quarterback play.
Yeah.
But Peyton Manning was the first player to make it cool to play for the Colts.
I would agree.
Like, think of it, like how many, other than like throwback Johnny Unitas jerseys,
Yeah.
how many Colts jerseys did you
Jim
see?
Harbaugh had a moment, but like it wasn't anything
No.
what Peyton Manning did. Like you had the Captain Comeback vibe, like mid '90s, just before you got Peyton, but it wasn't anything close to Peyton.
So, I hope, I want it to work out well because I want the Eagles to get the first round pick.
Yeah.
He's in the AFC, so you will see him once every 3 to 4 years.
Right.
And the only time you'll ever really have to deal with him where it's important is for the Super Bowl.
Right.
So, I'm not going to sit here and root for him. I'm not going to sit here and root against him.
I'm indifferent. Yeah.
He is no longer the quarterback of this football team.
Right.
And therefore, I am no longer wasting my energy caring about it. As soon as that pick converts from a second to a first, which I believe it will, the parameters of it are 70% and make the playoffs or 75% of the snaps and miss the playoffs. Right. So obviously the ideal situation for the Eagles are that he plays the entire season, but they suck.
Right.
Because that'll convert a high first-round pick.
Right.
Because chances are if they make the playoffs, the Colts are a good team.
Yeah.
They can probably win their first. They'll probably win the division because Houston's decimated.
Right.
I don't believe in Tennessee. I'm sorry. I just don't. I understand. Like they're a good team, but they're not. They're nothing. They're nothing special about that team. Derrick Henry's going to be a year older with 350 more carries on that body. Eventually, the big man's going to break down. Because guys like that don't have long careers.
They got to get that defense short. That defense is terrible.
And then Jacksonville, they're just not ready yet. Now, I think they Urban Meyer, Trevor Lawrence, that could be good, but they're not there yet. Yeah. So I'm not even worried about that. So the Colts should win that division. And if not, at least be one of the wild card teams at probably the 5th seed. Yeah. So you're not gonna, what's that? At least the 24th, 26th pick, something like that. So you want them to suck but miss the playoffs, so it converts into something. If it's anything less than like the 18 to 20th pick, it's a hard L.
Yeah.
For the Eagles.
Right.
It doesn't, because in my opinion, anything after like the 20th pick might as well be a second-round pick.
Right.
Especially with this guy, I'm not even saying his name, making the picks.
Right. I look at this like I feel like just like, I'm a father, so like when your kids do some things, sometimes it's worse for you to say to them like instead of like being upset with them like, you know what, I'm disappointed in you. I'm disappointed in Carson Wentz as a man. Just as a man, I'm disappointed in him, the way he handled his business and situation. I think this is just this is not how you go about your business. And like I go back through the history, and I look at all the quarterbacks that I've had in my lifetime and the ones I've watched and things they've went through as a quarterback. Like I'm old enough to remember Randall Cunningham and the controversies he had in this town, and how often they want people to Jim McMahon. The one replacement with Jim McMahon, one replacement with Rodney Peete. McNabb breaks his ankle, misses 4 games. A.J. Philly comes to win 4 games, and people are actually saying maybe A.J. Philly should start in the playoffs. When McNabb got to a bad start in 2003, hey, put AJ in. Like, the most popular position in any sport is the backup quarterback. Why? Because it's the guy that doesn't play. He always the shiny object. Whenever your quarterback has a bad game, that's the guy I want to go to. It's the same story year in, year out. Mike Vick, when he first got here, how the stuff he went through. All of these guys have all these things in common. And then, Carson, the way you've handled this, and you haven't played nearly as well as any of them. You're not Randall Cunningham. You're not Don McNabb. You're not Mike Vick. You're not any of those guys. You haven't played to the level of those guys. You had a moment. A moment. These guys have had careers. Randall Cunningham set trends in the NFL that are still being followed today. Don McNabb is the greatest quarterback in the history of this franchise. 5 NFC Championship game, 1 Super Bowl appearance. Playing with Drek. You talk about Drek? Talk about McNabb played with Drek at his skill positions. Are you kidding me? And then Mike Vick also. Like, that's the thing I think that frustrated most about this is that Carson Wentz sees himself in a way that does not represent his actual play on the field. And at the end of the day, that's why it all circles back to him. This is a Carson Wentz problem, guys. This is not a Philadelphia Eagles problem. That's what this is. This is overall not their issue. Could they have done things better? Absolutely. Should they have paid when they did? Obviously, in hindsight, probably not. Should they have moved heaven and earth to draft this kid? Probably not. Should these leaks have come out the way they did? Probably not. However, it doesn't absolve Carson of his sins because he has a lot of them. And the biggest sin is sucking. It's your biggest sin. You sucked. You were not good this year. You forced the hand of your coach. What was Doug Peterson? What would you expect Doug Peterson to do? Like, going into this season, the Eagles were considered to be a playoff team. They were supposed to be a playoff team. This team was supposed to take a jump after the way they ended the season last year, the way Carson was playing, the way the team looked. Even there was hope. This year, we went into the season with hope. And there were so many games this year that the Eagles should have won and could have won if you didn't have your quarterback throwing the ball all over the place. He did that. He cost his team. They should have beat the Browns. They should have beat the Bengals. And they should have beat the Steelers. They should have won so many of these games. Look at that Steelers game. Go back to that game now. Look at that game. When I told you guys before I didn't believe in that team and how they imploded because they weren't that good. They weren't that good at all. But your quarterback is turning the ball over every 5 seconds. How are you going to accomplish anything? Going against the coach's decisions, causing his own audibles, and then still screwing up? Like, why in the world am I looking at tweets and posts blaming the Eagles for all of this? I don't get it. Like, I get it. Carson Wentz, listen, off the field, Carson Wentz was great for the city. He did a lot of amazing things with charity. He did a lot of amazing things. He seems like a good guy. He cares. He helps people. That has nothing to do with Carson Wentz as a football player. Unfortunately, his business is not philanthropy. It's not charity. It's not his business. His business is playing in the NFL, and he didn't do that well based on those numbers you've given and based on this past year. We're going to take a break. When we come back on the other side, I'm sure we'll have a lot more Carson Wentz talk. And at 11 a.m., we'll be joined by J. Cole to talk some food and some other things and probably see what he has to say about Carson Wentz's departure. Brad in the morning, Marcus Brown, Justin Emery, right back. Hi, I'm Marcus Brown. I'm here to talk to you today about Uncle Mike's Homemade Ice Cream. USA Today selected Uncle Mike's as the best ice cream parlor in Pennsylvania. Uncle Mike's is a family-owned and dedicated to the production of premium quality gourmet ice cream and sorbet. Made fresh daily on the premises using the highest quality ingredients available, Uncle Mike features over 30 unique delicious flavors offered in scoops, sundaes, shakes, and special order ice cream cakes and pies. Uncle Mike's Homemade Ice Cream is located at 537 York Road in Warminster. It's open all year round, serving you happiness one scoop at a time. Hi, I'd like to talk to you guys today about my friends at Amy's Pizza. Amy's has a plethora of pizza for your munching pleasure, specialty pizzas such as Hawaiian, margarita, taco, and plenty more. If it's sandwiches you're into, they've got those too. Cheesesteaks, burgers, hoagies, even gyros. Amy's offers pickup and takeout options, but they are also available on Grubhub. Amy's is located at 332 York Road in the heart of Hatboro. Call them at 215-957-1000. Again, that's 215-957-1000. Yeah, man. Welcome back. Brown in the morning. Marcus Brown, Justin Emery. So, yeah, we're doing a deep dive in this Carson Wentz situation. Carson Wentz last Thursday traded to the Indianapolis Colts, as you guys all know. And
the biggest problem is if I come in here with notes and numbers, it's going to be downhill for someone.
Right. And I love what you brought to the table today with your notes, because it just proves our point of what we're saying is that there's this situation did not go. The number one reason this situation, there's 30 reasons. 30 reasons didn't work out. But the number one reason is Carson Wentz. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. That's the number one reason. You can't have a conversation about everything that went wrong here with Carson Wentz without starting with Carson Wentz. And that's what a lot of people are trying to do. They're trying to start it with Howie Roseman and this person, Doug Peterson, and this person, that person, and this and that. But the leaks, all of this stuff, yeah, they can all be on the list. It's like Family Feud. You go to Family Feud, the number one answer here is Carson Wentz. It has to be. It has to be. This is a Carson Wentz problem. It always will be at the end of the day, and especially based on, like I said, the history of the quarterbacks I mentioned that went through similar issues but didn't go this route. Like McNabb, all the things Donovan McNabb, and listen, I'm not going to rewrite history. McNabb was annoying. He said a lot of stupid stuff. His press conference, he double talked. He was passive aggressive. All of that stuff is true. However, he didn't ever want to leave. I'm sorry. He was traded, but that was not his decision. He didn't ever want to leave. He stuck through all of that. All the talk on sports radio about him. All the local media was brutal with Donovan McNabb. Randall Cunningham too. Go back and read some of those articles. When Mike Vick first got here, read some of those articles that were written about him. All of these guys, they went through hell when they were here. Hell.
So, like you said, there's a lot of issues. And was the roster built incorrectly? Of course. Was coaching mismanaged? Of course. Was front office moves done wrong? Trades? Yes. All of that is
checking all those boxes.
Check all the boxes.
Yes.
But Carson Wentz doesn't get traded if he just played better.
Yeah, it's that simple.
It's
literally
everything
that simple.
Is the GM incompetent? Yes. Is the owner clearly meddling? Yes.
Yeah.
Is the head coach a buffoon? Yes.
Yeah.
Is the offensive coordinator a buffoon?
Yeah.
Yes. Quarterback coach? Yes.
Yes.
Everything, all of that is true.
Right.
But you still have to play better.
You have to start with it has to start with you.
Now
You gave them no choice but to move on from you.
Now he gave out a very generic, cookie cutter thank you.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Right.
You're
And honestly, like that to me is so phony.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like, what do you think? Like, you chose not to be here, so what are you exactly saying? Oh, thank you for the memories.
Thanks for
Like,
the money.
like, could you imagine? Like, let's put this in a scenario of a relationship. Can you imagine breaking up with your girlfriend, and then after you break up with her, you break her heart, you put a note on the door. Thanks for the memories. Thanks for the good times. Remember that time we went to the park and we looked at the stars? You don't want to hear that. You just broke my heart. You didn't want to be here anymore. You broke up with me. So how in the world are you leaving talking about thank you? Thanks for all of this. Thanks for that. And then thanking your teammates. The teammates you assume a lot of them threw you under the bus and were a part of these articles. You're thanking them? Come on, bro. Like that's what I mean with you. You're phony. You're phony baloney.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Literally I read that statement. I wanted to throw up a little bit. Like I literally, because like I don't know, and I don't understand. Again, this is another thing. People are like, why are you paying tribute to this man? He didn't want you. He didn't want you. He didn't want to play for you. He didn't want to play for this city. He didn't want anything to do with this fan base. Why are you saluting him? Why are you saluting him? Why? Oh my God, this makes me so angry. Not only did he do this to you walking out the door and say, I don't want to play for you and I don't want to be a part of you.
All right, well, hold on.
He didn't play well while he was here.
Before you blow a gasket over there. Okay.
I need to
calm
sit
down.
back.
Breathe.
I'm gonna have some jerky. Calm down.
Okay, calm down.
I'm gonna relax. I'm bringing the mic up. I'm bringing it to the north position. I'm gonna relax and have some jerky. You say things now.
Okay. So hold on. Well, I mean, I might raise your blood pressure a little bit with what I'm about to say, but $33.8 million in dead cap. Okay. Over the weekend, another veteran was cut, Deshaun Jackson. Cap saving move. You know, I'd re-sign him maybe as a veteran minimum in training camp.
Right. We talked about this. That's kind of what I was hoping they would do, but
this contract had to go.
Right.
You had to cut him for this. Now it looks like they're going to use, I believe it's the post June 1st clause for a couple contracts. They're going to get out of Malik Jackson and Alshon Jeffrey. Right. That's going to save them approximately $7 million apiece, give or take. But you're still, we had said, I'd been pounding the table. They were $70 million over the salary cap. Now they're only $50 million over. So we're trending in the right direction, guys.
38 from the quarterback.
Yes. 33.
Sorry, yeah, 33.
So I'm going to take it a step further. There's four guys that I'm now moving on from. Those are Zach Ertz, which appears that the team will be moving on. They're not going to pay $12.4 million for him this year.
And he's another one that quit.
Yes.
He quit this year too.
He did. If he doesn't retire, I'm moving Jason Kelce. He is a very movable contract, and I understand not wanting to play for a different franchise. However, I think I speak for all Eagles fans when it's okay if we moved him for 1 year to play for a contender. Or it's play out the twilight of his career somewhere else. He deserves a chance to win.
Unfortunately, the only place I think he want to do that is Kansas City, where he doesn't have a job there. So like he probably will retire. I would think. I don't think he's going to go anywhere else, unless it's like I said, play with his brother.
That's what I say. If he wants to play,
right? Right. He deserves. Yeah, and he
He
deserves to be
deserves a
happy.
chance to.
Yeah.
He will.
But he's been a retirement fence now for a couple years now.
Yeah. So he's a guy who is a Wall of Fame
Absolutely.
player. Like,
No question. No question.
So I'm okay with that. But like I said, he has a very movable contract. Brandon Graham. Why would you want to continue playing out the twilight of his career unless you want to play your whole career with one team? I would move on. You save $17.5 million.
I was happy, but I was surprised they re-signed him. I didn't think he was coming back here.
I was surprised, but I'd still move on. And then here's the big one. 91.
Yeah, I thought this were going.
You can save, let me just quick math real quick. 12, 21, 17, 10, 27. Save approximately, let's see. Oh, look at that. You're 50 million over. You can save approximately 60 million by these moves.
And it's obviously now the Eagles. You're in a rebuild. You're in a rebuild. Like it's no question now. You still, even though you traded Carson Wentz, it's looking like they're not fully committing to Jalen Hurts. So you don't really have a starter right now. You have a guy that you want to compete for a starting job, but you don't really have a starter at quarterback. So why not? Why not? Like 4 months ago, I'd been like, you're out of your mind. But now, what's the point of having Fletcher Cox here?
There is none.
What's the point of having Brandon Graham here? What's the point of having these guys? There's no point. It's to start over.
I look forward that we can now officially on February 22nd, at the end of the first hour, we are burying the Carson Wentz talk once and for all. He is no longer a member of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yes.
And it is no longer prevalent to this show.
I agree.
Love it.
Yeah, it's time for all. Like this was the way I talked about him today. I knew it was gonna be very different than I talked about him when he was here because, I said this before. Like I had that moment of frustration a couple weeks ago, but I didn't want it to end this way. I wanted him to stay here. I wanted him to be the starter.
Oh no! So you're saying you changed your opinion based upon new facts?
Yeah,
Go
exactly.
figure.
Welcome to being a grown up, right? But now that this is official and now that it's happened, I can't avoid these feelings of frustration when it comes to his run here. Yeah. And it's going to be, for me personally, it's going to be looked back as a guy who could not handle the city, who could not handle this fan base, and who gave up and quit.
Yeah.
That's how I look at this.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much.
And that's
not really much else to say.
That's really not much to say after that.
So,
I just
that
feel,
buries that.
Yeah, that's a wrap. So
that puts a bow on the Carson Wentz thing.
Well, kind of. I want to hear what J. Cole has to say.
Well, yes, yeah. But I'm saying I've given all of my energy to that. We're going to go to a quick break.
Yes.
Come back with J. Cole.
Yes.
And then after that, we got heavy NBA.
Yes, and also we're going to get into the most negatively tweeted players in the NBA, and the number one person on that list may surprise you.
Tomorrow, I'm going to make my case to you as to why the number 6 pick should be someone out of the great Penn State University.
Okay. Brad Miami Morning, Marques Brown, Justin Emery, be right back. Welcome back, Brad in the morning. Marques, Brad, Justin Emery.
Yo.
Welcome to the Carson Wentz eulogy.
It's kind of what it feels like.
It's what it needs to be. Because, I mean, listen, I think everyone can fully admit that we're all kind of exhausted of this.
I'm so done. I was so done with this last week.
There were days that like I was like, well, we have to talk about it, but I don't really want to.
I would sit here, I'd be like, all right, are we going to discuss Wentz today?
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
And you would just kind of give me this sigh and go, well, we have to.
We don't really have a choice but to talk about him. So on one hand, there's relief knowing that this is over and we can all just go about our lives and, go on and kind of start figuring out what to do with the people that actually want to be a part of this team. Because they're the people that are important. He didn't want to be here. You didn't want to be here. Fine. That's fine. We got to start figuring out the people that actually want to be here. And how do we make the Philadelphia Eagles and get them back to where they need to get to be a viable contender. I just thought about this, something interesting. Because, the Eagles won their first Super Bowl in 2017.
Yes.
And, that was a big moment for all of us.
Yes.
But before that, the Eagles were in a position where, for the most part, over the past 20 years, they were a team that was always competitive. They were always in the hunt. They were always in the playoffs, for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
They were a team that you put in the upper echelon. They were always kind of vying for a Super Bowl. They never really got there. And that was a yearly thing, year to year to year to year. That's why I said I made the argument, weeks ago how Eagles fans are spoiled because for the most part, this franchise has, represented itself pretty well, in all fronts. So because of that, I look at it, I just wonder, what do people want? Would you is winning that Super Bowl? Are you still okay winning that Super Bowl? How things are turning out now?
Yes.
Or are you a person?
Yes.
Yeah. Are you a person?
I'm cool with it.
Okay.
Sold my soul for the Lombardi, and I'm cool with it.
And that's basically.
I'm cool with it.
It's very hard to be, the New England Patriots or to be, the Chicago Bulls or to have those dynasties where you just win and win and win and win and win. A lot of time when teams win Super Bowl or championships, this is what happens closely afterwards. We're not used to this because we're just used to being in contention. But so it's interesting to think about because I'm sure I'm with you. I want a championship. So I'm happy.
Sold out for it.
However, there are people on the other side that would rather be competitive. I don't understand those people.
Could never be me.
Could never be me. I want a chip all the time. But hey, we're gonna bring in our special guest, J. Cole, brought to you by Beef Jerky Outlet. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, man? Let me just jump in real quick and sort out the sports thing for you. I mean, it's so obvious. Back when sports were a shoot, you should absolutely be wanting to win championships. But let's be honest, that stuff hasn't been a shoot for a long time. What happens is they look at market demographics, which city needs to be put over, and suddenly 1 year Philadelphia is put over and everything's winning. And then Philadelphia goes back in the toilet. And then Tampa Bay needs a boost, so Tampa gets a win. They'll pick some other city soon. You can track it through the Wall Street Journal. Sports Illustrated is just sort of like that WWE program you get when you sit down to make it look like real sports.
Oh, okay. I like conspiracy theory. Minds are blown here on Monday morning.
No, I mean, and I've said this before with the UFC too.
Yeah.
I joke around a lot about how everything is raw, but the truth is it's not raw so much as influenced by outside forces. And other people have been talking about this. Financial decisions in the front office that fans don't even see affect what goes on with fans they do see.
Right.
And the next thing you know, Carson Wentz is somewhere else and people have no idea what the hell went on.
Right.
And they sort of make up their own narrative instead of just saying, you know what, we didn't want to pay this guy.
Right.
Because then how are you going to trade him? If you don't want him, what the hell do I want him for?
Yeah, exactly. We've been talking about this for the past hour, and I want to get your thoughts on this. We're coming from the perspective of, we said basically, listen, there are 35 to 40 reasons why Carson Wentz not here. However, we need to start.
You'll probably be generous saying it's only
right.
that little.
I'm sure there's more, but my problem is with the way this is being slanted is that, I like it into the Family Feud. The Family Feud, you have all those answers, but you have the number one answer. The number one answer to us, it's Carson Wentz, is the reason why Carson Wentz is not here. And that's the thing that's the thing that frustrates us, is that it's being slandered like everyone else is to blame the number one reasons when he really is the actual issue. What are your thoughts on this trade?
Everything slants back to wrestling for me. And I do it mostly for humorous purposes, but a lot of times wrestling fans will understand what I mean without being on the show for an hour. Carson Wentz screwed Carson Wentz the same way Bret Hart screwed Bret Hart.
Ooh. Nice.
You had opportunities. You chose not to take them.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge Bret Hart mark. I absolutely was. At the end of the day, it's a business.
Right.
You win when you're supposed to win. You lose when you're supposed to lose.
Right.
And I was livid that night, too. I had the pay-per-view, blah, 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 so on and so forth.
Right.
The next day, you calm down.
Yeah.
And, the 19 beers are out of your system, and you realize, what, it's business.
Right.
And it's the same thing with Carson Wentz. The guy didn't fit in. He stopped being a lunch pail guy, bo, and all that other kind of nonsense.
Right.
So he had to go.
Right.
And I know fans are upset. And I know all the people out there with their French Bulldogs and Tinch Bulldog Terriers named Carson don't know what to do with themselves. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You won a Super Bowl. You had some good times. You got to keep in mind, there are teams where legitimately every year, imagine being a fan of the Carolina Panthers. Every year is a championship year, a rebuilding year, and a reloading year. It's simultaneously.
Right.
And that's just in football. That extends to other sports, too. Imagine being a fan of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I can't even imagine that.
Yeah, absolutely.
When was the last time you saw the Baltimore Orioles really competitive? Beautiful stadium, loyal fan base, town that could really use a boost.
Yep.
Not legitimately, not like as a joke.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Would the Orioles win 80 games this year? Probably not.
No. The Orioles are the only team before the season starts, statistically, with a 0.0% chance to make the playoffs.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm talking about, man. I joke around a lot and compare everything to pro wrestling, which is obviously, a work. But a lot of times people will understand what I mean by that. Same with the UFC. I used to joke around and hashtag UFC is raw. All these fights are fixed.
Right.
Not fixed, but they're predicated on how is the promotion going to make the most money. And everything in the league, whether it's the NFL, the NBA, that's predicated on how the owners are going to make the most money. It's a business, and the product the employees are the athletes, and the product are the games. And sometimes we forget that, and they want us to forget that because that helps us to spend more money. When I see someone burning an $88 starter jersey, I'm like, okay. They got their $88. What do they care what you do with the jersey?
Right. Yeah,
it's just like the people selling those folding tables in Buffalo. You really think they care that you're? But they
they love it.
Yeah.
They love it.
They're into it.
So next week you're back at the stationery store saying, you know what, Office Depot, I need another 6 folding conference tables. They're like, okay.
I love it.
And I think in Philadelphia we lose sight of that a little bit more than maybe some other cities. When you're in New York, everybody the Yankees are almost like a government institution there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when you have a city like Philadelphia where we still have blue-collar, small-town energy, even though we're not a small town,
right?
You look at Philadelphia and you're sort of like, you're looking for this and that. You're looking for that guy to buy you a shot and a beer at McCusker's, and that's just not happening.
Right.
That's a great way to put it.
Especially with Carson Wentz.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and I just wish people I know you guys see the same stuff on Twitter I do. There's sort of like that, like Philly underground sports scene where they're just shredding WIP or whoever else is out there, right? And in certain cases, they deserve to be shredded. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But they're sort of saying what's legitimate. Like, hold on a second. You're worried about, good citizenship is important. Don't get me wrong. I'm not buying I'm not buying that season pass to watch a defensive back, third string, plays 8 minutes a year, hand out free turkeys at Thanksgiving.
Right.
I can do that.
Right.
You could do that.
Right.
Today Bradham and Emery give away turkeys for Thanksgiving.
Right.
Am I going to get 48,000 people for that? Sorry guys, but no.
Right. Right. And people sometimes just have a hard time separating the person from the player. And like I will not question, like, Carson Wentz was great for his area. He did a lot of amazing things with his charity organization, but that unfortunately has nothing to do with football. It just doesn't. And like you look at, Justin did an amazing job comparing stats. We weren't even comparing Carson Wentz stats to the top 5 to 7 quarterbacks in the league. We were comparing his stats to the 10 to 15 to 20 slot, and he wasn't even coming on top of that. So like again, I don't want to be redundant, but at the end of the day, this is ultimately a Carson Wentz issue, and he didn't want to be here. He quit on the city. He could have had a chance to restore his reputation and fight for his job. He didn't want to do any of those things. So if you don't want to do that, then see you bye. Your dog agree?
Yeah.
So yeah, Marcus, you're right.
You're absolutely right. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, take your time.
Right here. Sorry, fellas, breakfast is coming. You sleep right here.
No, it's fine. It's
the
fine.
thing is, dog owners understand
Sorry
exactly.
about that, man.
Dog owners understand exactly what he's going through right now. Trust me, because I deal with the same thing multiple times a day, every day. Like, you just get it. Like, you just understand. If you're a dog owner, you get it. It happens. There's nothing you can do. Just keep it. How many times?
I'm sorry about that. I just
you're good.
I kind of set my delivery up because I was going to call in earlier, right? And I hate when the dog interrupts the show.
Right.
Everybody's going through this being at home now, and then somebody forgot a laptop. We won't leave that nameless.
Oh yeah, I was bad. I walked in. Oh no, we can talk about it. It was bad. I walked in and I just gave him this look like, hey, where's the equipment? Because I usually leave it here, so I don't have to bring it back and forth.
Right.
And he gave me this look like, you took it home with you last time. I broke records.
Yeah, you got back here fast. You were there and back in half an hour.
Not even.
Yeah.
It
was pretty good.
My Star Wars fans out there will understand this. I was pod racing, okay? We were moving, okay? That's what we were doing.
It's working.
Yes, we were. That's exactly what was happening. We got here and back. We were only 10 minutes late.
Hey, you know what? I will give a little shout-out to these people because I've hammered them on every show, including yours. I ordered DoorDash like 20 minutes ago, and it's here and it's right.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sometimes they get it right.
Sometimes it
You know
happens.
what I mean? Me and one of my old radio buddies, Corner Pub Ron, we hammer DoorDash almost daily.
There you go.
I'm about to hammer DoorDash right now. Okay. So yesterday, ordered Chipotle.
Okay.
The only reason I usually just order it directly through the app. Because there's more options, easier. Just you can do customize your order and everything.
Yeah.
But I had credits in DoorDash, so I was like, I'll just order it through DoorDash, so I don't have to I don't have to pay. It's just credits through there.
Right.
It doesn't let you customize your order through DoorDash.
What?
I mean, I couldn't like if you're ordering on the Chipotle app, you can do like light sour cream on that. No, you can't do that. It's either yes or no.
Yeah, they limit the choices.
I was out. If I didn't have that $15 credit on there,
never would have used it.
Never would have used it.
Actually, I have a question though for J. Cole, real quick. So I was just thinking about this. I am having a hard time. I've been on a search for years to find like traditional, like really good ramen, like actual ramen. Like, it's something I've wanted to try. Obviously, we've all had the ramen noodles, whatever like that. But like, I've seen there are actually places that make the actual real legitimate ramen. Where do I go to find this sacred jewel?
You know what? I'm going to take a shot here from South Jersey. And I'm okay with this. I mean, there have been times where I've had to say things that I didn't want to say.
Oh.
South Jersey's a little bit of a ramen wasteland. I go up to Princeton for ramen. I go down to Atlantic City for ramen.
Okay.
I've been told, and I'm going to call anybody out here specifically, I've been told to try a few different ramen places in South Jersey. No, they're the real deal. I get over there, pay my money, and they're not. And I'm just like, This is like strip mall ramen. Now, you can find strip mall ramen as easy as I can.
Right.
There's a ramen joint in Princeton I tell people to go to. It's a lower level place, like in the basement. I mean, physically lower level.
Wow. Okay.
And I can't remember the name of them. We've just always called it the ramen joint in Princeton. I'm sure a quick Google search and you'll see what the name of the place is. This place has been legit for like 20 years. Back when people didn't know what ramen was, or they thought it was the stuff in packages for $1.
I mean, listen, I'm not going to act like I
good.
didn't think that until I was like 25. I'm like, this is actually a food?
Oh yeah. Oh, a lot of people, especially back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm on the, I'm an old head, so I know for a fact that there were people in the '90s who had no idea what ramen was. Oh, you mean those packages from the store?
Right.
No, like real ramen, and people would you'd see the eyes go blank because they just didn't know.
Yeah, I ordered it. I ordered ramen from DoorDash, and it was. I got excited. I was like, "Oh, maybe this is a good place to get it." It was not. It did not work out my favorite.
No, they don't.
I ended up
Well, here's the
literally
problem.
throwing
really
it
good
out.
places. The food stands on its own.
Yeah.
So you call the place, you pick it up, you have it delivered, whatever. I hate to say this, but the people that reach out to Grubhub, DoorDash, Uber Eats, these are the people that need to get over. And the reason they need to get over is because their food isn't that great. They're doing their level best, but I've got friends that do barbecue, and they're nice guys. The barbecue is only ever going to be average because they don't have, they don't live in the woods in North Carolina, and they've got 5 generations behind them doing this stuff.
Right.
Today's food felony. I know you guys are kind of,
heavy talk
running the show. Today's food felony.
Oh yeah, we're just today's show is just shooting from the hip today. I mean, Marcus, he was barely has a voice over here.
Yeah, I was in the Poconos for 4 days, just drinking my body weight.
Yeah, we're just firing from the hip today.
I came on the air sound like Marge Simpson.
Wow. Today's food felony. We'll talk about this a little bit. I'm a fat guy. I'm an old guy. Probably not in the best of shape, like a lot of foodies. And I've had the doctor tell me, "Hey, look, man, your scrappled cheesesteak isn't your best go-to." However, I've seen this cropping up a lot. If you want to eat healthy, eat healthy. Much respect to you. I can't do it. If you want to eat what you want, and then you have 2 choices: work it off in the gym or on the road, or accept the consequences of XXL pants. That's just how it is. Do not take things like a Jersey treasure, like disco fries, and throw it on top of a salad.
Hold on. We got to stop you for a minute. What is disco fries?
Disco fries are the Jersey version of poutine. Gravy, cheese, fries.
Oh,
Okay.
Brown gravy.
All right.
Usually.
Okay.
Sometimes you'll see a horseradish mayo spread over that too, depending on what diner you go to.
All right.
Disco fries started appearing everywhere in the 60s and 70s. By the 80s, early 90s, they were gone. The diner thing came back in the 2000s, and disco fries have been on menus ever since. Primarily a Jersey thing. Most South Jersey diners will serve it with pork roll.
Ooh. Okay.
So you've got a side of pork roll. You've got usually a peppery brown gravy, fries, usually the thick cut steak fries, cheese, and usually some kind of maybe, chopped up green onions, a drizzle of horseradish mayo or tiger sauce, as some people call it.
Yeah.
It's like a 2 a.m. food. It's an overnight diner food. You don't go in there with your family in a nice shirt and order this at 6 in the evening.
Right. After
This is like a 2 in the morning. You've been thrown out of the bar. You know what I mean? You can barely make it up the stairs of the diner. The lady knows what to bring you. Greasy, salty, cheesy, fatty. However, when you take that dish and throw it on a salad, which a good friend of mine forwarded me a picture of this past week, you're not making it a healthy dish. You're just adding roughage to a terrible diet.
Yeah.
It's the same with this. I call this the cheesesteak hoagie postulate. Look, if you want a cheesesteak, have a cheesesteak. If your doctor tells you, look, man, you've had too many cheesesteaks, you better get on the treadmill and have a salad, well, then God bless, have a salad and get on the treadmill.
Yeah, if you throw
Throwing
cocaine,
lettuce, tomato, and onion on a cheesesteak doesn't make it healthy food.
Yeah, if you throw cocaine into a garden, it still makes it cocaine. Still bad for you.
Exactly. You can't.
Okay.
And I'm seeing this food
Can't
felony.
change it.
It's the truth. I mean, sure, the garden gnome is happy, but
Yeah.
I'm seeing this a lot, and it's real disturbing to me that people seem to think they can grab. And I understand there are some legitimate people not trying to eat gluten. They'll wrap a burger in like a big old kale leaf. Yeah, sure, man. Do what you have to do to get by.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make the burger any healthier. You're just adding a little something to the burger. More lettuce, less bread.
Right.
And that's fine. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But I'm seeing this, hey, follow me for more recipes. And somebody is dumping like chicken and waffles on a salad. And I'm like, slow down.
Oh man.
Yeah, that doesn't make
No
any
lie.
sense.
I saw bacon and egg salad last week. Spinach leaves, tossed in bacon fat with bacon and eggs on top of it. I'm sorry, man. You're just having bacon and eggs. You're eating the garnish.
Right. Yeah, if you look
Especially if you're tossing that garnish in bacon fat. Let's be honest.
Right. You look at like things like the keto diet and the Atkins diet, like, yeah, it's going to get you the results of looking better. But if you actually really constructively think about what you're doing, like eating bacon eating a bacon sausage pork roll wrapped in lettuce at 8:30 a.m., is that really going to be good for your long-term health? Probably not.
I feel personally attacked.
You'll be in ketosis. That's great. You'll burn
I feel
the fat,
personally attacked.
but like that's not going to actually do. Like when you're 70 years old, you're probably going to need a triple bypass anyway because you've consumed all
so
that
you
stuff.
might as well. You might as well. My father-in-law is at that age now where, he calls me and he says, "Hey, look, other than cheese, what can I use to get a kielbasa to stick to the inside of a piece of kale, so we can like wrap this kielbasa?" And I'm like, Pop, I don't know what to say to him. I'm like, okay, you're going to eat the kale. That's great. He's like, the only thing I can think of is like whiz. And I'm like, oh, Jesus. Go ahead and tell him, maybe mustard. Like at that point, what the hell do I tell the guy? You know what I mean? He's 75.
Yeah,
3/4 of his life has been pork roll, egg, and cheese before he gets on the road. I'm like,
yeah, if you made it that long, you do what you want. You're allowed to do what you want. Like if you're a big man out here, your guide should be Andy Reid. Andy Reid has not wavered on his bigdom. He has all the money in the world, and he said, I'm still going to eat California cheeseburgers. That's what I'm going to do.
Oh, yeah, he could have had the surgery.
He could have done whatever he wanted.
He
He's committed to his fatness. I respect that.
The only thing I ever tell somebody, a big person, is this. Do me a solid. When you start having the consequences of your actions, please don't be shocked.
Yeah.
Please don't tell me, nobody said that mayo with every meal was bad for me. Come on, man. Maybe 100 years ago people didn't know that, but come on, man. If you've made it through like fourth grade,
Yeah, you realize it. Listen,
I shouldn't be eating this.
Right, exactly.
It's like the person that gets like the 8-patty burger, the double large fries and everything.
Yeah.
But let me get the Diet Coke.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, big man.
Yeah, dude, bro, just get the Coke.
Yeah, let's get the Coke.
Commit, go all the way.
He said, Diet Coke, really? Come on, man. They add, and I'm certainly not a healthy eater, but they got to add more chemicals to the stuff to make it diet.
Right.
Just get the
So bad for
Coke,
you.
and if you can find one, get it from Mexico, like real soda.
Right. Get that sugar cane.
Yeah. Every once in a while, Pepsi comes out with that,
Yeah, it's Pepsi sugar.
Pepsi.
Yeah, that's delicious.
Yeah, I mean, I can't with this. And they're like, oh, this makes it taste just like sugar. Yeah, but, you jammed a needle full of it into a rat, and they've all died. I'll just have the sugar thing.
All right, J. Cole, tell them where to find you.
My teeth work out, whatever. And this is sort of the moral of the story. This is sort of, I know people are listening to this going, what's the point of the story? The point of the story is this. Make your choice. Live with your consequences.
Facts only.
If you have to take Lipitor, if you have to take it, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, then you knew that 25 years down the line when you decided to hit, Max's cheesesteaks every single day.
Exactly. You knew you were heading for the route of diabetes.
Well, they were in the neighborhood. Well, so was Acme with the salad, but you didn't go there. Okay,
Right.
I understand that.
I have a friend of mine who keeps
And when I see
Tums
people
on
posting
standby.
photos of, new year, new me, and I'm seeing a chunk of lasagna on a bed of lettuce, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. All right.
No, that's not lasagna salad.
It's not. It's lasagna salad. All right, J. Cole, tell them where to
Eating
find
garnish
you.
is not healthy.
No, it's not. Tell them where to find you. You there? Did we lose him? I think we lost him.
Hello?
Where can we find J. Cole?
Oh, we did. He dropped off. Okay. All right, then.
All right, well, listen. J. Cole will be back next Monday, of course, with Food Felonies. And you can find him on Twitter.
At J_Cole, J_COHL.
And by the way, he's absolutely right. Like, yeah, I mean, you look at, like, listen, I've done, like, keto actually is, like, a diet for me, but you know why it's for me? Because I get to eat stuff that I'm not supposed to be eating on a diet. Like, I can still have a bacon cheeseburger, just I can't have the bread. You know, I can have a taco salad instead of tacos. Like, but that stuff, but if you think about it, like, the people, this keto generation that we have now, like, they're going to be in for some rude awakenings in 20, 25 years. Like, if you're eating it that way. Like, now, if you want to do, like a healthier version of it, you can do, like, the ground turkey, the lean pork, the chicken. You know, you could do things like that. But most of the people that do it like it the best because they can eat that stuff that's just not that great for you.
I mean, I just felt personally attacked only because nearly every single day before the show, I suck down either bacon and eggs or pork roll and eggs before I come here.
Well, just live with consequences. As J. Cole said, live with consequences. But I do quickly, before we get into the NBA, I do want to personally attack you and your girlfriend.
Oh, we were gonna get to this.
We need to talk about this right now because I was triggered last night.
I was gonna get to this on the other side.
I was triggered. Do we have to take a break?
We can throw it out there and then we'll address. Or let's just go to a break. We'll address the whole thing in its entirety on the other side.
All right, sounds good. Bradman in the morning, Marques Brown, Justin Emery, right back. So last night, mind my own business, as I tend to do. As we know, I'm not big. It's Marcus be tweeting, but Marcus hardly ever tweets. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's more like Marcus be reading.
Yeah, Marcus be reading. I be reading stuff, but I don't be tweeting. I respond to it in my head.
Unless
unless
I tag you something
Yeah.
specifically in it, there's a pretty good chance that you won't respond or anything.
Yeah. I'm like Drake in the early 2010s. You might hear my reply? Want to hear a reply from me? That's me.
Yeah.
But yeah, one caught my attention.
Yeah.
From your lady.
Yes.
I actually at first was confused because I read this, and I was like, it took me a minute to be like, is she really? Is this happening? So, Ree from the tweet line tweets out, have the people who love The Office developed personalities yet?
Oh, I love that take. And I'm here for it. I'm in 110% agreement.
I sat back for a minute. I was like, I know she's not coming for Office Twitter right now.
All the
but
smoke.
She is. That's why I like, is this a dig at The Office? And she said, oh, absolutely.
I'm here for it.
Here's what first of all, I don't see it at all. Like this is wild to me because The Office to me, I have that in my top 50 sitcoms ever.
Okay.
It's in my top 50.
So we know that your top 50 list is flawed. Moving forward, go ahead, continue your argument.
I'm going to continue your argument by saying but I'm not going to put it in a revolutionary category because it was already done in another country.
Yeah, it's a spin
off of that, and that version of it may be better than the American version.
I've never seen either, so I wouldn't.
You can't comment. If you've never watched, you've never watched it.
No, because I don't watch shows that suck.
You can't say that.
Oh, I can say that.
No, you can't.
Oh,
you can't tell me the show sucks if you haven't watched it.
Listen, go get your little points out so then I can address this.
No, this is all void because you've never seen the show.
Willingly never seen it.
So I can't say.
I've walked into places and friends have been watching it.
Okay.
I've never sat down and said, oh, I'm going to watch The Office. Do you know why? Because I prefer not to watch crap TV.
But you can't say it's crap TV if you've never watched it.
I have.
That's my point.
I know.
But coming in for
there's a difference between seeing it
yeah.
and watching it, okay?
Yeah.
I don't watch it. Watching it means you have an investment in it. You care about the characters. Nobody cares about Pam and Jim.
I do.
Nobody cares about Dwight and that creepy smile he gets.
I care about all of it.
Nobody cares about Dunder Mifflin.
I care about all of it.
And check this. You ready? Nobody, including the people that are in Scranton, care about Scranton. Do you know why? Because it's a whole town that is very similar.
That's the whole joke of the show.
But here's what it is.
That's the joke of the show. That's the whole point.
But listen. The entire town of Scranton is like Kensington. So
no, it's not Kensington.
So if I want to see a whole town that's like K&A, I'll go to Scranton.
K&A is nothing like Scranton. Scranton, first of all, Scranton is a poor little sad town, and K&A does not represent Scranton in the least. However, the fact that you have not seen the brilliance of this show.
No.
See,
like I said, I've seen it.
Right, you haven't watched it. Okay, I got
it.
But that's the thing. That's the thing with the show is that The Office took things that were little and made them big, like the show about because there's so many people that can relate to the concept of The Office. Going to a job you don't want to go to, working somewhere you don't work with. All the nuances and intricacies of a job in an area with a bunch of people. Like, everyone's had a Pam at their office. Everyone's had a Jim. Everyone's had a Dwight. Everyone's had a weird boss that thought he was cooler than he was. It really wasn't that cool. Like, all of these aspects of it, every character of an office is covered. That's what makes it brilliant. It's brilliant television. It's brilliant.
So, I came up with my list of the top 5 overrated TV shows.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm assuming The Office is on there.
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Right.
What else?
Now, this is in order. Strictly like this is no scientific evidence. I didn't pull the Nielsen ratings. I didn't do any of that.
So this is no notes, all opinions.
No notes, all opinions.
Ed Rendell style.
Yes. Number 5.
Okay.
30 Rock.
Okay. I'm indifferent towards that show.
30 Rock. Number 4. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Bro, come on.
No.
Always Sunny?
No.
Please, no. We're not going to blow past that. Why?
It's not funny. I can watch.
You just don't find it funny.
I can watch.
Here's the
whole
deal.
episode of that show.
I need a list. Well, here's what we're going to do. I want you give me your 5 overrated now. I want a list of things that you think are actually funny.
Okay.
Okay, so go ahead.
Okay. Number 3, Big Bang Theory. Number 2
Yeah.
is Friends.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you right here because you need to learn a lesson that I've learned a long time ago. Sometimes in life you have to recognize what makes you weird. Like me, for instance, I hate eggs. I can't stand them. I don't like them. I don't like the smell of them. No deviled eggs, no scrambled eggs. No, I hate them. I hate all eggs. I don't want to eat them at all. But I recognize that makes me weird. I understand that people love eggs. Eggs are universally loved. People put eggs on everything. You put egg on a burger. You put an egg with your bacon. That's not me. I have a breakfast sandwich. I do all meats and cheeses. That's a little weird. I get that.
Yeah,
people
weird.
always look at me. People always look at me, and when I go inside and they say, "You sure you want to eat egg?" I have to tell them, "No, I don't want eggs." To the point where sometimes I have to say I have to make up a story and say I'm allergic, so to make sure they don't put it on there. Like I put on DoorDash sometimes. Don't put eggs on this. I will die. I'll get that dramatic with it because a lot of people think it's just like a weird hang up I have, but I really just hate eggs. But I understand that makes me weird. You putting Friends on a list of the most overrated sitcoms ever, and The Office, and
The Office is number 1.
The Big Bang Theory. This makes you, and Always Sunny. This makes you weird. Acknowledge that. This makes you weird. This is a you problem.
It might be.
Carson.
It might be a me problem.
This is a you problem.
But
Because all these shows are universally loved and funny.
Maybe, but you know what makes this everybody else's problem too?
What's that?
I got a microphone. So everybody has to hear this.
All right, so now I want to hear a list of things that Justin finds funny. Let's hear this list.
People falling down.
No, but I want what? No.
Like you ever seen somebody just wipe it out?
Yes,
Like, that's great.
That is hilarious. I agree. But I'm talking about actual shows that makes Justin hee-hee. What shows make you hee-hee?
Let's see.
Do you just not enjoy laughter? Are you one of those weird people that doesn't like things that are supposed... Like, are you, like, anti-laugh? Like, you're a person that doesn't like things that are traditionally supposed to make you laugh.
No, I enjoy funny things.
Okay.
Like it's just that I don't find scripted humor to be funny.
Oh, yeah, so you're not a sitcom person.
Yeah, like it's like all of those shows, those things are supposed to be funny because they're written that way.
That is the point of a comedy.
But I'm saying I would be much like show me like I don't know. Show me like the something funny. Like show me a YouTube
So you're a
video.
blooper guy.
Yeah.
You rather watch ridiculousness.
Yes.
Than a traditional sitcom.
Yes. But I hate
benefiting off of people's misfortunes, really. Because that's what those shows pretty much are.
Yes.
All right. I can't be mad at that.
Right. Though not that show because I hate that show.
It's been on too. It was funny.
You know what the show that I really I liked that a lot of other people didn't, that hated, and I don't know if it's still on anymore. Tosh.0.
Oh, I love Tosh.0.
That a lot of people hated that
Daniel
show.
Taj is funny stand up. He's funny with stand up.
That's the kind of thing that makes me.
All right, that's fair. I was watching. Emma and I watched the challenge on MTV. So like I guess before, I don't know. They it seems like Ridiculous plays on MTV like 23 out of 24 hours.
Joe,
like I don't understand how much Ridiculous we have.
Somebody posted. I think it was the weekend of the Super Bowl. Somebody
Mm-hmm.
posted, you know how you have like the TV guide charts where it shows you everything that's playing at every half-hour segment for there?
Yeah.
From Friday night at like, say, 10 p.m.
Yeah.
to midnight Sunday into Monday morning for the week of the Super Bowl.
Right.
The only times that Ridiculous was not playing was a Saturday and was a 4-hour loop where they played, I believe it was The Nutty Professor.
Like, what is Rob Dyrdek's contract with MTV? Like, you must pay my show 20 out of the 24 hours in a day.
The thing is, they don't. What else do they have?
But well, they do. I mean, they do have shows.
What?
They just don't show reruns, though.
But
You got The Challenge. You got Jersey Shore. You got Team Mom OG.
Nobody
Team
cares
Mom
about
2.
Jersey Shore anymore.
I care. I still watch it.
Is it new episodes?
Yeah, Family Vacation.
They're
in a resort.
That is abysmal.
They're in a resort right now. It's doing well.
That is abysmal.
Pauly D has a girlfriend. Vinny's on keto. Mike and his wife is pregnant. They're pregnant now.
Who?
Situation and his wife. They're pregnant now.
Gotta tell you a story about this situation. Okay.
What?
So
It's okay.
no, it's not the real situation, but
What?
so some guy.
This is gonna get even weirder. All right.
Some guy about a month ago was just randomly hate tweeting on me because I was talking about the Mets.
Okay.
But in his profile picture, he had an abysmally photoshopped picture of his head on the situation's body. So I called him.
What?
I called him out on it.
No way.
I was like, "Hey, what's up with your profile picture?" He then blocked me and changed his profile picture.
And why'd you pick that body of all bodies? Like, if you're going to do that, don't use his. His body is one of the most recognizable six-packs in the history of the country.
So when Jersey Shore first came out was when I was in college, like right when that
09.
first dropped.
Yeah.
And one of my very good friends was named Mike, and everybody was joking, "Oh no, the situation." So he gave himself the nickname, which you never give yourself a nickname.
No,
number one.
that's not okay.
He gave himself the nickname, the Solution. He's like, because he might be a situation, but he's like, I'm the solution. And I was just like, nobody calls you that.
Nobody calls you that. That's not a thing.
Nobody
So
calls you that.
I want to talk some Sixers right now because first of all, we have to acknowledge
Hold on.
our center dropped the 50 McNugget.
Hold on, because I came with notes.
Okay.
I got notes on everything.
Well, I'll just start saying things.
Yes, start saying things while I figure out where I put my notes.
Okay. Our center dropped the 50 McNugget.
Did you steal my notes?
I did not. I have my own notes over here.
Oh, I haven't found it.
There it is. Oh boy.
No, it's all right. I got the one I needed.
Okay, good. Split the weekend. Last night, sort of a weird game.
Yeah.
Got off to a great start.
They were on. They were.
Yeah. It
At
looked
one
like
point in time, they had a 14-point lead in the first quarter.
Yeah, it looked like they were gonna blow them. Looked like they were blow the Raptors out, and all of a sudden you turn around, they're down 3 or 4 heading into
Well, you know what
the
happened.
second quarter.
Fred VanVleet just decided to light it up. He made that ridiculous. Did you watch? Did you catch the game?
That fall away three
Yeah,
from like
he's
45 feet.
throwing
Yeah.
it out. And
Yeah.
after that, he came down on back-to-back possessions after that and knocked down threes.
Yes. Now, here is the thing that I'm most excited about. And this is how you know you have a real coach. A real coach does what? He makes adjustments. He makes them on the fly. He makes them in between games. This is something we've been clamoring for when it comes to this basketball team. Someone that was not afraid to hurt people's feelings. Mm-hmm. What are we saying is the worst part of this team? The bench.
Bench.
And the biggest problem on that bench is
I know
Furkan
where you're
Korkmaz.
going. And I
Yes.
saw our guy.
Yes.
I saw it, and I saw you talking about it yesterday.
So
Let it rip.
Literally,
Let it rip.
literally for me, this is joyous because it makes me know that, because I asked the question last week, I was like, am I crazy? Is something wrong with me? Like, I don't claim to know everything about basketball. I think I know a lot about basketball. How is it possible that Furkan Korkmaz is still a person that's in this rotation after not this year, all of his years? I don't get it. So for me, it was just a situation where it was driving me crazy watching him get trotted out every night to do the same thing over and over again, and to understand that, based on just results, like my 10-year-old daughter when he walks out there, said, "What is he doing out here? Why do they keep bringing 30 out there? He doesn't do anything." I look at her, I'm like, I don't know either. I don't know.
We don't have answers.
We don't have the answer. I mean, and she literally she gets upset like I do. She's on the other side of the couch like, why does he keep, what is the point? I don't understand
Do you
what
have
he's
his
doing.
line? Do you have his line? His stat line?
His stat line from last night, I could pull it up.
Okay.
But before I pull up that, I want to read Doc talking about this because who's the guy I've been clamoring for? Isaiah Joe.
Yep.
I've
Oh,
been
yeah.
clamoring Isaiah Joe because, listen,
Let's hear it.
do I know he's the answer? I don't know, but I don't not know. I know Furkan's not the answer. I know that. So give me a guy that actually, when things were, the one thing that was when the Sixers were going through all their COVID issues, we got Isaiah Joe got extended minutes. And he looked pretty good, and he does. And the thing I like about him is that he'll guard somebody. Like, he's not just out there hacking up jump shots. He'll guard somebody. He'll contribute defensively. He made a couple plays this past week for the team defensively. And he's already a more consistent jump shooter than Furkan Korkmaz already. So,
But he's a specialist.
yeah, Furkan's a specialist, special at nothing. So like, my thing was, why don't we give this kid a shot? And finally,
Let's hear it. What do you say? What's the quote?
Doc has decided that Furkan is going to sit down, and he's going to put Isaiah Joe in the rotation and give him a look. And basically said about Furkan, he's not playing. He's playing well. He said about Joe, I thought defensively He was absolutely fantastic, and that's what we need. This is not football. You've got to be a basketball player, and you've got to play both ways, offense and defense, and I thought he did that tonight. That was after the Bulls game. And, like, that's kind of where you saw, and he also said, I'm trying to find the quote where he talks directly about Korkmaz, but he basically said, you know what, I got Justin Grass, so I can go to his, because he's actually.
Yeah, he was the one that was putting it out.
I think he's the one that put it out. But basically, what he basically said was, listen, he's not playing well, so he's sitting down. Like that's what this needs to be.
About time.
And like, I was just wondering how long it was going to take for us to get to the point where Doc Rivers said, you know what? No, because it made me nervous. It made me nervous about Doc. Is that I thought coming into this year he was going to be down Korkmaz. I thought he would have watched everything he's saying and said, yeah, that guy's not my rotation. But he came in saying, hey, we need a bomber. I'm going to give it a shot. We'll see what happens. And I was like, no. And then the first half of the season, I think he's given it a fair look. Like, I think even Furkan Korkmaz
he's got a
say,
fair shake.
I got a fair look at this.
And I suck.
And I was not good. So here's a quote. Doc Rivers said about Isaiah Joe and over Furkan Korkmaz. He said, right now we're going with Isaiah over Furkan Korkmaz. Not sure if it's permanent, but right now Joe will get those minutes.
Oh, boom.
That's all I need. That's it. That's good enough for me because that
Shakes
just shows
back.
Right. And that just shows me, like, listen, I don't think, like, we've seen Tyrese Maxey. In the beginning of the year, he played pretty well. But you've seen him plateau and kind of go the other way a little bit. But you know what? I have faith in him.
He's 19 years old.
Exactly. I'll have room for him to grow. I have no problem with that. But again, the coach adjusted. He saw the information, and he said, okay, we need to reduce his minutes a little bit, and he's done that. Joe's a guy that's kind of been put on ice ever since, you know, that 2-week run when guys missed time because of COVID, and he gave Furkan that time to figure it out, and he just hasn't. And again, it all comes back to this. If you only do one thing well and you're not doing that thing, what good are you to me?
Not good at all, my friend.
If you can't guard anybody, you can't dribble, you can't pass, you have no court vision, you're not fast, you're not quick,
you know what
you're not athletic.
You know what he'd be great at? Selling insurance.
Yeah. Like Furkan Korkmaz at the end of the day,
you know,
at NBA standards, he's not a good basketball player.
He needs to get in there with Jake from State Farm.
Yes. Like Furkan Korkmaz, I think would benefit going overseas. Go play overseas.
Yeah.
Go to China. Go to somewhere in Turkey. Go to somewhere in Europe.
Go
overseas.
Leagues.
Go overseas and play. That's where you need to be because this is not for you. Like, because here's the thing with him. Like, do I believe if Furkan Korkmaz was locked into a gym with no one in there and he was just shooting jump shots, someone in the stands watching him, I bet you he looked pretty good. I bet he's shooting 60% clip.
But so does a former D1 guy, whoever. Just pick a former D1 guy who's lighting it up at LA Fitness.
Right, and you know,
just because you dominate the LA Fitness leagues does not mean you can play in the association.
Furkan Korkmaz is a guy that he looks to be easily intimidated. When he gets out there and he's out there with the big guns, like, do you see him knocking down an open three in like LeBron's face?
No.
I'm sorry, open three, a contested three in LeBron's face.
No.
Do you see, like, do you imagine the things that they say to Furkan Korkmaz when he comes to the court? The things that are probably said to him on a regular basis. Like he is definitely disrespected.
It's like, did you ever have those friends that, or not even friends, people you knew that were elite within your group, elite athletes, but then they may have went on and kept going, but eventually it wasn't. So there was a guy that was on my baseball team when I was younger. He was an elite pitching prospect early. Like, he was, 13, 14 years old, hitting 80 on the gun.
Yeah.
Went into high school, dominated it in high school. Pitched at Villanova. Got onto the campus. Starting pitcher his whole career. Barely made it on the team as a relief pitcher. Because eventually he just plateaued. But if you put him into any men's league,
I had a guy, and this is going to be sort of what you're saying, but a little different. because this is kind of how I look at Furkan Korkmaz. I had a guy.
Obviously Furkan made it to the pros.
I'll call him Bem. It rhymes with Bem. His name. So Bem around the friendship group, we're playing 3-on-3. We're playing 5-on-5 with our friends. Could look like one of the top 3 players on the court. Like, looked incredible. Like, the guy could shoot. He could pass. However, we go to, like, elite playgrounds. Like, we go to, like, some playgrounds in, like, New York. Or we go to some playgrounds in Philly. Turtle shell. Because the moment got too big, the competition got too big, and people start saying some disrespectful things. Then they look in your eyes and see you don't belong here. I can already see you don't belong here. He misses one shot. That's it. He won't shoot the ball anymore. But this kid could look like one of the best players on the court playing in our friendship group. That's kind of look at Furkan Korkmaz. I bet you at practice. I bet at practice he's lighting it up at practice, doing all these incredible things. However, he gets where he gets comfortable because he knows these guys.
Yeah,
they're joking around. They're not going to talk crazy to Furkan. Oh, nice shot, Furk. Good pass, Furk. Yeah, Furk. They're not doing that. The Lakers aren't doing that for you, bro.
No.
Like, the Clippers aren't going to talk to you. Like, you think Pat Bev is going to be saying, good job, Furk? No. And this is, like, he's going to be saying some disrespectful, degrading stuff to you. And you look like a guy that can't rise above those things.
So, before we get out of here, because we only got a couple minutes left of the show.
What?
Yeah. I want to get back to it to talk about Embiid's 50 burger real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. First player since Iverson in 2005 to do it.
Mm-hmm.
First 50 point of his career.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, knock on wood, not his last.
Yes.
Where does Embiid rank for you all time in the franchise? Now, I came up with a list of the guys who I feel like are in the discussion.
Yes.
Okay? So I could make it a little bit simpler for you.
I can do that. Like, I would rather, but before you get your list, I would rather just do it like without you saying anything right now.
All right.
Because I feel like I can.
I came up with like the top 5 guys who I feel like
this conversation has to involve Barkley.
Yes.
Iverson.
Yes.
Wilt.
Yes.
Dr. J.
Oh, that's my fault. I missed him. I missed him.
I think that's the 4. That's the only 4 that I would put in that list.
I had Moses.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I had Moses instead of Doc, and then I had Embiid. Now, like I said, that was not in order. I was just spitballing names that would be in that category.
Like, here's the deal: Embiid's going to pass everybody if they win a championship. He goes to the front. Except, I guess Doc and Moses, they won 1 too, but I still think he passes Moses immediately if they win. Doc, not yet. This conversation is super
I mean,
interesting.
it's an incomplete right now.
If you go popularity, it's Embiid and Iverson.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're the 2 most popular Sixers of all time. And, like, Embiid hasn't even been here that long, but I still feel like that's where we're at with him. If you go strictly on the court, he hasn't passed Iverson yet. Has not passed, because Barkley here was an absolute monster.
Yeah.
Like, this was sick. We got prime Barkley here. Like, he had the MVP year in Phoenix, and he had good years for him out there, but this by far was prime Barkley.
He
was doing ridiculous Paul Bunyan type things when he was here. Like, the man's 6'4". Like, he was absolutely insane. So he had to pass Iverson for me, or Barkley, or Doc. I guess I would give him Moses right now. I think he's past Moses, because Moses was only here for about 3 or 4 years. And yeah, he was incredible when he was here. I don't count Moses as like a lifer Sixer. Like, I don't count him that category. So I already give him Moses. So I say he needs to pass. Iverson, to me, is greatest Sixer of all time. I follow that with Doc and Barkley are neck and neck, and then Embiid. That's where I think he is.
So do you think he has surpassed Wilt?
Yeah, I do. And that's.
I mean, the living room won't agree with you.
We've talked about my Wilt issues, but like Embiid is like, come on, man. Like, Embiid is insane.
So here's another question for you regarding Embiid.
Okay.
In my opinion, I think he's the most dominant big man since Shaq. So I'm saying since 2000, most dominant big man.
You'll get an argument from me.
Now, I came up with a list of a couple guys who – oh, I'm sorry. This goes from 2005. And I came up with 2005 because that was the last season Shaq averaged 20 and 10.
Okay.
Was 2005.
Okay.
So I went from 2005 to now. So the last 16 years. Now, like I said, these are just guys I threw down on a piece of paper to kind of stir the discussion. Not saying I agree with any of these guys are above him.
Right.
And I did not classify Tim Duncan or Anthony Davis as centers. I classified them as power forwards. So I'm talking strictly centers.
Okay.
The main guy, obviously, is Dwight Howard. I think since then, it would be Dwight Howard has had the biggest run of a big man.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Honorable mentions in there, Ben Wallace.
Okay.
Honorable mention, DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah. Boogie was a problem for
a couple
years out in Sacramento. Absolutely.
Back end of his career, but by the formula that I gave, Yao Ming.
Mm-hmm. Yao's very underrated and underappreciated as a big man.
Yeah. Granted, by 2005, 2006, he was on the back end of his career, but still putting up numbers.
And he was a late comer come over here. Like all the years he dominated over in China. Like he was a late bloomer.
He didn't play a lot of years in the NBA.
No.
And then he classifies as center. I don't think he's better than Embiid, but Chris Bosh.
Yeah.
Chris Bosh made a big impact, but he was a different kind of center.
Hybrid. Yeah. And you look at Embiid too. Embiid.
You know what Bosh was? He was a bigger, and I want to mean bigger physically, bigger Anthony Davis.
Yeah. The thing in Embiid to me is as equally dominant offensively as he is defensively.
Yes.
Like he dominates both sides of the court. Like, and the fact that he's mastered now that 10 to 12 foot jump shot. You literally can't do anything.
And the fact that he is now I don't even want to say above average, absolutely top flight elite foul shooter from the 5 position.
Yep. Yeah,
he can backdoor his way into 30 points a night.
And this goes back to Doc. You know, the thing with Doc that Doc made things simple. Like, listen, bro. You're the most dominant guy on this court.
We're run the
Here's
offense
what's going to happen. We're going to give you the ball a lot. We're going to give you the ball a lot in places that you like to operate. Please show me those places. Where would you like the ball? You hear that, everyone?
This makes sense.
This is where he likes the ball. Get him the ball here. Like, you see how often the Sixers now are having him just run down, get down deep in the block, and throwing the ball in the first 5 minutes of the game. Just get him going. Because everyone knows with shooters, like with me, give me a layup in that first couple minutes. See what happens.
Listen, as the show's...
Let me see that ball go in the basket in that first couple minutes and see what happens.
As the show's resident GM, and I have predicted that you would have been a 6-time All-Star. Okay? All we need to do is just get a little warmed up a little bit.
Get me a layup in that first 5 minute span. It's going to be a night for me. It's going to be a night. And that's how most shooters are, where like if my first shot I like it to be layups usually, like on transition or maybe take a guy off the dribble. I rarely ever start off with a jump shot. But if I hit a jump shot to start off, oh no.
So one time a couple of years ago, I was playing in like one of those like men's rec leagues.
Yeah.
And it had been the first time since I played like really like organized competitive basketball in a couple years.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right. I played it for 2 years. The first season I went out there, I was like, I'm probably going to get trashed this first year.
Yeah.
So I haven't played competitive basketball in like 4 or 5 years. Went out there, pretty much play like crap during the whole season. Playoff game. We go out there. I was like, all right, I'm making it rain this game.
I have to
make it happen.
Gotta make it happen.
Boom. First possession on the wing. Boom. Hit a 3. I'm like, all right, I'm feeling it. Second possession down the court. Same spot on the wing again. Boom. Hit a second 3 from the corner. I'm like, all right.
This is it.
This is
like
the
moment.
The game's about to get – I'm about to light this game up.
Yeah.
Come down third possession. Again, corner. This time I threw it up. I was like, good. Boom. Hit it. The guy's like, all right. They call it timeout real quick. The guard goes, all right, he called it. Next thing, the rest of the game, I had like the best player in the league. I barely touched the ball the rest of the game. And I was like, I'm never doing this again.
Yeah.
I'm never coming out here going 3 for 3 from 3.
Sometimes you don't want to tell on yourself. You know?
I was like, oh, this is good.
This is it.
No,
This is a good
man.
night.
Like, to put it into perspective, this man was doing windmill dunks and then on defense coming down and guarding me.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't have a good game, good rest of the game.
That's terrifying.
I'm sitting here, I'm like,
Yeah.
man.
Today was supposed to be my day. At least
Supposed to be
you
my
had a quick
day.
9, though.
Yeah, it was nice.
All right, so we're going to get out of here.
Yeah.
Fun show. We buried Carson Wentz today, and I'm sure we will not be talking about him for a very long time. I can basically
I
guarantee
hope so. I hope so.
You can
If I come in here and he's on your notes, I'm going to freak out.
No, it will not be on my notes. You catch me at Marques be tweeting everywhere.
Or Marques be reading.
Or Marques be reading.
At Justin Emery Show. Catch me on Twitter. The rest is irrelevant.
Brad and Memory Pod everywhere. And until next time.
Hold up. We forgot to mention.
Yeah, what did we forget?
Promo code BREMI on beefjerkyoutlet.com/Langhorn.
Yeah.
10% off your orders. I was a big fan of the venison. What about you?
I enjoyed it.
I was a big fan.
They don't miss.
They don't miss.
Like I said, Brad Memory Pod everywhere. Until next time, you can be with us, you can be against us, but you're never going to stop us. Late.